Hello everyone, this is Jan from orJANics 50nRaw, and this is my much promised video on my raw muffins. So I have everything laid out here. You probably can't see it because my camera's kind of far away. But what you will need for this very delicious recipe and satisfying is you will need, first of all, a ½ pound of Dinosaur Kale. Now I want to just show you the leaves of Dinosaur Kale. This is not curly kale. This is more of a flat, bumpy leaf as opposed to the curly leaf. Now you could probably use the curly leaf kale. It's just I've only ever made it with Dinosaur Kale and I like it. Now this is ½ pound and I know because I weighed it on my scale. So I have ½ pound of Dinosaur Kale, which will be what I will process first. I have 2 cups of organic Black Beauty raisins. I have 1 cup of Deglet dates, and I'm sure you could use any type of date. I have 1 cup of chopped walnuts, ½ cup of organic, of course, as much organic as I can, chia seed. I have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I have 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of organic raw hemp seed, and I ran out of bowls, so they're sharing a bowl. I have 3 tablespoons of organic raw cacao powder and 3 tablespoons of organic raw carob powder to balance the flavors. And then I have organic vanilla, which I'll use a teaspoon of. So the first thing that we're gonna do is in the food processor with the S blade, we're gonna start to process all of this. This is important to do this step first because all of this will process down into this kind of greeny, gooey stuff because really I don't have much liquid here. So all of the liquid is going to come from the kale. So I'm just going to kind of put it in a little bit at a time. And I did buy 4 bags of this at the farmer's market yesterday, so I got a little carried away. This recipe will actually make 12 muffins. Add some more. Love my food processor. Now it's kind of, since the food processor is getting full, I'm gonna have to like stop it and tamp it down. Lots and lots of nutrition in these muffins. When I made them, I was actually trying to make a cookie. Because I'm from Canada, I like my afternoon tea and cookies. And so something I was missing going raw was having that hot afternoon tea with something nice and sweet and soft. So I tried to make a cookie and it turned out to be more like soft in the inside, so it was more like a muffin, but that was really great. I really didn't mind that at all because it was still as satisfying as a cookie. Okay, good. We finally got the leaves processing in there. I'll show this to you in just a second. This is all chopped down really good. I don't want to take the lid off, but I will show you. Let me move this out of the way. You can see it's kind of like, it's kind of this consistency. It's all chopped really fine. And you want it to be like that because that's going to be the main ingredient in your muffins is your kale. Okay, so now that I have my kale in here, it adds the moisture to all the other ingredients that I'm going to add. And I'm going to add the dates first and process those up. So I get them chopped up, processed pretty fine. Oh yeah, that looks good. Good. So they're processed down pretty fine. Now I'm going to add the 2 cups of my organic raisins. I actually had somebody that I was is very conscious of eating healthy, and she tried these and she said they tasted kind of like a brownie. And so I have the raisins in there. I'm going to process up those. And just give them a stir. Starting to look really gooey. Going to add the chia seed now, and all of the dry ingredients except for the walnuts. The walnuts we're actually going to stir in because the walnuts give it more texture. They give it kind of like a little bit of a crunch, so it's kind of like you're eating muffins with walnuts in it, and so it gives it a nice little crunch to the muffin. So here's my muffins. Oh, I forgot my teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. Get this all out of the way. And then you have to give it a stir a couple times because this is a lot of muffin dough, whatever you want to call it. And it's processing up really nicely. The kale, I can smell the kale, but the Carob and the cacao powder make this taste chocolatey, and it does look black like a chocolate muffin you would expect it to look. It's almost done. Okay. Now this is nice and thick. I'm going to pull this off of here and show you guys if you can see that. It's really, really thick. See? See this? So that's how you're going to want your batter. Now I'm going to put it in a bowl. And I have just this bowl here. This is kind of actually a big bowl. But I'm going to put it in here because I want to stir in the walnuts. And you can see it's really thick, and see, kind of like that. I'm making these, today's Sunday, so I want to have these to eat all week. And in the afternoon when I go to my studio, I usually take 3 of them, which is a lot, and eat them with my cup of chamomile tea. I get a nice chamomile tea from Numi. It's a chamomile lemon tea, and it's very relaxing to me, and it's very filling. I think last week I ate these for my lunch every day, and then when I got home I just kind of ate a big salad. So there we have my blob of, look at how thick that is. My blob of muffin. And then I'm going to take these and stir them in here. And actually, I think some of them are a little bit big. I'm just gonna crunch some of them down a little bit. And these are not soaked. I could have probably soaked them before tonight, you know, to get rid of the enzyme inhibitors and make them easier to digest. I'm just gonna give them a crunch down. And then I'm gonna stir them in. Make sure that I don't have one muffin that's full of walnuts and one muffin that doesn't have any, because I'll be really sad if I eat a muffin without a walnut. Okay, I think that's pretty evenly distributed. So everything in here is raw. There's lots of protein, lots of phytochemicals, lots of antioxidants. Okay. Okay, so the next step is getting them on the dehydrator sheet. So what you're gonna need for this is you want a dehydrator sheet, and you want to put the mesh on, and then you want to put your Tuflex sheet on, and that'll stop your muffins from going through the dehydrator thing. Okay, now what I use is I use the lid of a mason jar, a ball mason jar, and this is not the wide mouth, this is the regular mouth. There's a difference. This is the wide mouth one. You can see the difference. This is something I would use more for like a hamburger. This is more for like a cookie. So what I do is I put it on the sheet like that, and then I fill it full, and I have the ring on the top. So I'll show you again. And then I just push it in with my, this is actually my spatula from my Vitamix. I push it in, make sure it's full, even off the top, and then I just very gently wiggle it off. And I have a patty, see? I have a cookie, a little muffin, kind of like a muffin top. You see that? So when I put it in, you can see there is a lip on the top of this mason jar lid, and it's okay. I just kind of fill in. I put it with the lip up, and I just kind of fill in, patting down so it's completely full, just like that. And then I just kind of pull it off, and then I have my second one. So this will make 12. This will make 12 little muffins, cookies, whatever it is you want to call them. And then they're going to go in the dehydrator, and they're going to go in that dehydrator for sure overnight. Right now it's 9:30 on Sunday night, and they'll go in for sure overnight, and they'll probably still be dehydrating when I go to work tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'll probably leave them in. They don't get crunchy. They kind of, the outside gets hard, but the inside stays nice and soft. And so it has a really good texture. The only thing is when you're eating them, you have to be a little aware of the kale getting stuck in between your teeth. So first time I made them, I was eating them, I was at my studio and I was talking away to customers and laughing, and when I looked in the mirror, I had kale, you know, stuck all in between my teeth. Like, oh, gross. But my clients are awesome. Nobody said anything to me, or at least not to my face. So whenever I eat these, I make sure that I have a good toothpick and clean my teeth really well afterwards, because otherwise I have green stuff in my teeth. So here we go. Very delicious. Now I'm going to try, perhaps with one of the other 3 bags that I have there, I'm going to try making an apple one. Apple cinnamon, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm gonna experiment this. I don't want to experiment with you guys. This one I've already made and I know how it tastes. I'm also wanting to try and experiment with like making like a raw hamburger, you know, with the kale, the dinosaur kale. The dinosaur kale I like because it just has, it isn't as hard and coarse as the curly kale. So it just kind of gives you a nice, it's a softer kale. And I do enjoy the dinosaur kale a lot. And this, the person that I bought this kale from, he actually already takes the stems out. So you do want to make sure that you don't have the stems in your, which I should have told you earlier. I'm just gonna move these over. You want to make sure that you take the stems out of your dinosaur kale because otherwise it's going to be very coarse and maybe kind of gritty. And then I'm working on a recipe, which I may make tomorrow, using the stems of the kale, that rib part that's in the center. You can actually make a nice cracker out of that. And so don't waste those. Don't just throw them away. I'm going to teach you how to make a nice dehydrated cracker out of that. That's pretty good. This is better, but that one's good too. And that one's not sweet. This one's sweet and chocolatey. Last one. This one might be a little big. There we go. Put this one on here. Now, if you did want this recipe sweeter, I have done it where I've added maple syrup to it, but for me, this is sweet enough. Ooh. But there you go. So these are going in the dehydrator at between 105 and 110, and they're going to go in there for quite a few hours. I'll let you know when they're done how long I left them in. But basically, you can leave them in until you feel they're done for your taste buds. So this is a really great recipe I have enjoyed and I have been making over and over again. A lot of times when I make a recipe, I make it once and I kind of get tired of it. But this one I've been making over and over again. You can spread some raw jelly on it if you want to. It depends on where you are. You can even put butter on it. Organic butter, or you know, whatever you want, or you can just eat it like that. So okay, I'll get back with you then when these are done. Bye. Well, good morning. I am here with my muffins and they've been dehydrating about 12 hours, but now it's time to flip them over. And the top of them, they've got like a nice crust on them. And can you see the muffins, Kaden? 2 of them are missing. Oh dear, I've already started eating them. They're so good. So I'm just gonna slip off this, and so you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but the bottom is still very moist and sticky, and the top is nice and dry, so it's got a crust on it. So I'm just gonna take them, flip them over, and just leave them on the mesh sheet now. And probably for another 12 hours tonight before I go to bed. I'll take them out of the dehydrator and they'll be all done, and I'll put them in Ziploc bags. And I don't put them in the fridge, I just kind of leave them out. It's probably a good idea to put them in the fridge because they are a raw food and they are still kind of moist in the center, so probably a good idea to put them in the fridge. And then just eat them up. So hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let me know if you give it a try. I'm going to be experimenting with some more dinosaur kale recipes and try and make a hamburger, a raw hamburger, and some other things. But yeah, enjoy. Bye.